Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes. This will allow you to see why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting this person into your life, what the spiritual message is. Again, there's always a lesson, so there's always a message for that lesson, and how you can shape shift the situation to avoid any karmic consequences. And when I'm talking about negative karmic consequences, which happens a lot of times when you're dealing with people that have spiritual blocks. Thing is, we may know that they have feelings for us because you can feel, again, the ESP is through the heart and mind. So if you're sensitive and the person really is a soulmate, you can feel that they're around you. It's just you don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. All right. So hopefully it'll give you some clarity. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel you can find in the description box. Sorry I haven't been on as often, but I am still wheezing. I have to go back to the doctor tomorrow. I think I actually really do think I had pneumonia because it's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and I have already gotten shots, antibiotics, and you name it, and nothing really is 100% working. So, not uncommon during this type of year for me. October, when the leaves change and the weather changes, that's when it does it. Sensitivity, it's a curse. It's a gift, but it's also a curse. All right. Let's see what the word of the video is. It's sorrow, sadness. You're going to write that word in your comment bar if you want to enter into any free reading with me, that is. You'll also have to like the video and subscribe to the channel because you won't know if I chose you because you won't get notified unless you actually subscribe to the channel. All right. So the word of the video is sorrow and sadness, and I feel like, you know, it sounds so redundant because I know I've said this before, but I feel like the tables have turned. It's like you're not sad anymore. You're in a you're in an upswing in your life, and I feel like the person that's connected to you is actually sad about it. They actually wanted you to not do as well because they wanted you to come back to them. They want you to need them. This person knows that they didn't treat you right, played a lot of games, and I feel like they gambled. They took a gamble and they said, well, I'm not going to come back to you. I don't want to come back to you. And I feel like they thought that you were going to go, obviously, come back to them, but they were that way not because of you, but because they were around somebody at the time that had to have everything their way. And so this person was really subservient to that person, but to you, it was almost like they took their anger, they took their frustration out on you. And it's not that this person has feelings for that person. I feel like they were actually leaving a relationship. It's just the relationship was next to impossible. The person like kept trying, your person kept trying to leave it, but the person that was connected to your person wouldn't let them leave. And so wanted a sense of controlling. And the one thing that your person really loves about you is that you are independent. Like you don't need them. See, I think at one time it was endearing, but your person has healed and they've evolved to the point that they don't really want that energy, that codependent relationship where the person that's attached to your person is very codependent. So I feel like they don't really know how to handle that situation and really cutting it off 100% because they're like, I don't know what this person's going to do. They might kill themselves. They threaten, they're acting like a crazy person. Like one day they say this and then like that they're going to, do something horrible. And then the next day they act like they're fine. They're all over the place. They seem almost like they're bipolar. So your person just sat there kind of taking it, especially some of you guys, this person has kids. So it's like it wasn't just them. So they're like sitting there just kind of like taking it. And I feel like you guys got into an argument because you were like, well, are you going to come out? Or I want to take you here, or when are we gonna do something? And this person acted as if you were being demanding. When you weren't being demanding, they just projected whatever they were going through onto you. They actually thought that you were toxic, but it wasn't you that was toxic. It's the karmic that's toxic. So this person realizes that they blew it with you, that it's again, you're not coming back. They took a gamble. They thought, well, I'm gonna wait because I'm not gonna come running back to you. It's like I'm tired of being that person that has to come back and apologize, even when it's not my fault. Where that's again, they're in uh this victim state consciousness where I feel like the connection is kind of their fault because they stayed in a connection for long periods of time that the relationship is over, and it has been over. So instead of your person just cutting it, they bob back and forth because they let other people's emotions dictate their life, especially this karmic person. And so I feel like you got fed up with it. You got fed up. You're like, if you're not here, you're with somebody else. And if you're with somebody else, then the loyalty is with somebody else. So I'm done. And so what happened is that they thought that you were just mad because the karmic always threatens and says things like that too, but they don't leave. Thing is, this person's learning that you are not the karmic, that you are someone completely different, and that you're actually so much more in alignment that this person can't stop thinking about you. And that's why there's a lot of sorrow, there's a lot of sadness, because they don't really know how to recover from this. And mainly because what are they going to say about the karmic? I feel like they still are dealing with that situation. So when you were dealing with this person, again, I just acted really rebellious. Like no matter what you said, everything was a fight. It's like everything seemed to be a trigger. Like this person happens to be very sensitive normally, very compassionate normally, very nice, but they were not that way towards you. They were someone that just saw everything that you said as controlling, manipulative, and that wasn't you at all. And that's what happens. Be contrary just for the sake of it. And that's what it felt like to you. That's what it felt like. You're like, no matter what I say, you have a problem with it. If I say blue, you're automatically going to say red. If I say yes, you're automatically going to say no. If I challenge that, then you're going to actually like have an attitude with me. And so part of you is like, how come you don't have an attitude with karmic? You're really rebellious to me. The reason why is because they didn't really know how to deal with that situation and they didn't really know how to tell you what was going on. Again, this person feels really inadequate. So for a really long time, they, like I said, were codependent. See, the karmic remembers them from a long time ago and has continued throughout the relationship to try to get it back to the original state. Thing is, your person, I feel like, has a bad way of instead of the relationship just being over, like they always wind up with somebody else. So they never leave on their own. They never do what they need to do on their own. So they are codependent somewhat because they're also like sad because there was a sense that you were going to be there for this person. And since you're not stepping in, you're not talking to this person, like you, without saying it, you're saying, I'm not going to be that person. You're not going to come running to me, especially after you treated me the way that you treated me. See, where the karmic would have never did that, and this person is used to people kind of making excuses for them. So they had a big ego when you dealt with them, but understand they really feel inadequate. They're like kind of like in a world of their own, like a rebel without a cause. Here we see it again. See, they're so unhappy with that karmic. They drink or they smoke weed all day. Like they're there, but they're not. They're like checked out. See, that karmic thought that they were going to take your place. Because the karmic knows that, if they're leaving, it's because someone's there, because that's what happened with them, however many years ago. So your person knows, the karmic knows who your person is very, very well. So yeah, your person created a lot of illusions. They pretended that they were single. They pretended that they didn't really have any connection with the karmic. They pretended that they were in full control of their life. I don't feel like they're in control of their life. And they can be in control of their life, but they don't really feel like that they can. And that's the problem. It's like, and it's because they worry about what everybody else thinks because they're very insecure. So what we see is a person that wanted to be in your life but never closed out a cycle with somebody else. So the illusion was that they were ready to be in a relationship when they really weren't ready to be in a relationship. And that's why there's sorrow. That's why there's sadness, because they're like, you know. So what am I going to say? They can't finagle it. They can't lie about it. They can't manipulate it now because you know. So when you're dealing with this person, again, you knew that it was illusion. You're like, they are making me live an illusion, like trying to pretend that we're something, but we can't be anything as long as that person's in your life. It's like you have plenty of times for your hobby. See, this person would never say that they had to leave because, of the karma, because you would never stay with them. But they would say that they had other things to do. They would say that they were going fishing or that they were going, to play a sport or they were hanging out with a friend or that they would always make it like they were busy because you're like, I know that you're not at work. So you're either at work or like you're with the karmic. And so this is, or you're with somebody else, maybe not the karmic, but you're with somebody else. But all I know is that you're not giving time to me, is what you were saying to this person. And this person was saying, no, I'm going here. They would make excuses, creating the illusion that they were hanging out with friends and doing things that they weren't really doing. It was just their way of, they were lying. They were lying because they knew if they would have said, I am dealing with a karmic, you'd say, well, then deal with it and come back when it's done. And that's where this person knows they went wrong right there. Because, hey, they should have given you the option. Do you want to be here? No, this person was afraid that you would move forward. And that's actually what happened anyway, because now you're looking at them through a different lens. Like the purity of the connection, the innocence of the connection now is ruined. It's tarnished because of them. And then again, the trauma. They have a lot of unhealed trauma, and I feel like you have unhealed trauma too. And this person took their shit out on you. So, but they have trauma. And they have trauma, we know, because they're codependent and they don't value themselves enough because they're so insecure. They feel like that they don't belong anywhere, like they don't fit in anywhere, like they're not even from this world almost, that they figured, well, you're not going to stick around for me if I tell you the truth. I wouldn't stick around. Like if they put themselves in your shoes, they'd say, well, I know what I would have wanted and I didn't give you that choice. And I know that you're going to say that to me. And you're going to say damn straight. You're like, I have unhealed trauma too, and you took out your bullshit out on me. So it's not just about you, where this person was very selfish. But they have a lot of trauma. And so what they did was they didn't know what to say to you, so they stonewalled you. They thought that they would use time and distance as a weapon so that you would go to them and talk to them. This way they wouldn't have to make a decision. Because it's almost like, well, I can hang out with you and the karmic. I'm not with the karmic, so the karmic could just sit there. No, you're like, I don't want that. No one in their right mind would want that. And they know that. I feel like for you, their stonewalling is really what ruined the connection. It's like this person thought that they were going to take their sweet ass time. No matter what life was happening for you, what life was giving you, they weren't around to even acknowledge that. And you never got an apology. And really, that's why they stonewalled you. They didn't want to be the one to come back and apologize because, again, they're always the one apologizing and being like subservient in the connection with the karmic in order to keep the karmic satisfied, happy, because karmic is like very manipulative, but also extremely emotional, like bipolar, where they're going crazy, and they're going crazy because your person wants to leave. So they figured, let the karmic break up with me. Let the karmic walk away from me. This way I don't look like the bad person, because again, I'm insecure and I don't want to look like the bad person. And also so that, you know, the karmic won't like give me such harsh consequences for not wanting to be with them, which is an illusion. So again, what they did was they stonewalled you instead of explaining to you, saying, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I really thought that I was ready to be in the relationship. Let me close out this cycle. Go about your life. I'll come back if you're available. Great. I really will hope that you're available. I really have feelings for you, but I have to deal with this. They didn't give you a choice. Instead, they were like, well, let me manipulate this situation so I can have my cake and eat it too. And the way that they did that was to not apologize and to, again, stonewall you, which created a lot of resentment. And this person can feel it because you guys have a soul connection, because you're like, what the hell is going on? You're not even being honest with me. Why are you protecting this person that you claim that you don't want to be with? Like the person that you think, and there's also a sense like you think that by tiptoeing around this person, that it's going to be easier for you. But it's not, and then you expect me to deal with it while you pamper this person. And if you don't think that the karmic knows exactly what they're doing, then you're stupid. And that's where you're at. You're like, you don't see? You don't see? You've been together with this person for a long time, not really with them, but they know you. They know every button to push, and you don't see what they do. I don't really believe that they did until recently. Yeah, it's like, because it's like, and so instead of them dealing with the situation, what they do is they withdraw, because it's like, I don't know how to deal with it. This person has avoidant behavior. It's like, maybe it'll just go away. Maybe you can break up with me so I don't have to do it. Not you, but the karmic. Maybe, like, instead of them saying, this is my life. This is what I want. I'm entitled to the life that I want. There's an insecurity there. And I don't really know why, but we're going to find out. We're also going to find out what they truly feel about you right now. Because right now, I feel like they think that they blew it. This, I've hurt you and I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me someday. And and understand I was reacting in fear again, because again, that karmic is like they're worried. It's like they're worried what the karmic is going to do, because the karmic, it's not just like I'm gonna break up and they might hurt themselves. No, they're worried that if they have a child, that they might hurt the child, that they might destroy their business, that they'll destroy their reputation, that they're going to do something. But they know that this is far more than a relationship, and that there is a higher purpose, because they're like, listen, it would have been so much easier for me to just stay with the karmic. It's so much easier, but I'm not happy. And being that I never thought about my happiness before. That's this person. This person's like, I never really thought about my happiness. My happiness was if I made other people happy. So there's a sense of also that this person has learned to be happy through being like sneaky, through talking to people on the side. Again, the karmic's there, but the karmic's the one that's being taken care of. No one wants to be in a relationship with somebody that the relationship can't move forward and that they're not going to give them anything. And the karmic does everything that they can to make sure that they don't lose that spot. So it's again, they thought for whatever reason, they really thought that you were going to put up with it. I think that they confused the spiritual connection. Again, they know that there's a higher purpose, but they didn't know that. They didn't realize that. They said, I know that this is more than a relationship. It's like they thought that they were going to use that energy to their advantage, meaning I know how much you care about me, I know how much you like me, so you're going to put up with it. And that's where the apology needed to come in, that they needed to come clean, but they didn't want to seem weak. They didn't want to be vulnerable, and they also didn't want you to know everything. We have past life connection memories and surfacing consciously and unconsciously. Yeah, there would have to be in order for this person to actually do reflection on themselves and to want to leave that karmic, because again, you can see that they're living more from a fear-based consciousness. They have avoidance style. They would have been fine staying connected to that karmic. But again, if they're married, being married, just living in two different rooms and living two totally different lives, but talking to people and cheating on the side. But past life connection means that there's a really strong soul tie. There's a lot of chemistry. So your person can't stop thinking about you. They can't. And they also know in a past life that they didn't do right by you. That's why they're getting triggered, because they're like, I lost you once. I'm going to lose you again. I've been learning about twin flames and it just feels so right to me. So it's again, I feel like this pushed them more into the spiritual side, which would have to be because they are not healed. And so I feel like unconsciously, this person is like really can feel that you're connected to them. They not even subconsciously now, it's just consciously like they know. And so there's a sense of I want to know what this type of relationship is. I've never experienced anything like this before. I feel like I don't have control over what I think because they're like, I actually want to leave the karmic and I've never had this type of courage before. I actually don't care if I walk away and leave everything behind, and again, that's not this person. So they're like called to to search like why who are you, like why are you in my life? And so again they are in search. So I feel like I said, whether they're learning through Facebook groups or I feel like they're also talking to like a sister or a cousin, someone that's very close to them, that's not someone that they hooked up with, someone that's close to them that's explaining how they feel about you. And and that person is saying, yeah, there is such a thing as a soulmate twin flame. There is, and it's helping your person to understand, there are different types of connections. I feel like your person also confided in this person to ask them like what they should do about the karmic, and they're saying you need to be happy. You need to be happy. I'm realizing this connection is something special and worth treasuring. Again, that would be obviously if it's a soulmate, like twin flame connection, right? And that's we are alchemists. We transform fear into love and shadow into light. So this person is on a higher level, knows that it's a twin flame connection, and they also know that you would help them get away from that karmic. So do they know that they're transforming fear into light? No, but that's what's going to happen. That's what they want to happen. And I feel like they needed to talk to someone that would validate what they felt. Where I feel like the karmic was saying, no, there's no such thing. I'm your twin flame. I'm your soulmate. This is what it looks like. It doesn't get any better than this. And your person's like, no. No, because I've been in separation from this person. I can't stop thinking about them. I haven't been with this person in a really long time. I haven't talked to them because they haven't, aside from maybe a hi, I mean, it's something very vague, but they haven't given you time. They deliberately tried to starve out the connection and they can't, which again, they're like, I feel like I don't have control over myself. So they asked their sister or their cousin, somebody that actually believes in soulmates, believes in twin flames, and started to educate them, which made them look on like Facebook and because I feel like the cousin said, go to this group and read about it. And so they're learning about it and they're like, no, this is my person. You're not my person, which is making the karmic go apeshit crazy. The whole reason for the connection is that this person we know is insecure, avoidant, codependent. So again, all that fear, all that says that the person feels inadequate, and which again, this person remembers, the karmic remembers when your person was insecure and reliant on them. So there's a sense of, I need you to come back to that place because that's when our relationship was good. So the karmic has gaslit your person for a really long time. And now, because of this connection, your person is like awakening and seeing, wait a minute, things aren't adding up. And you're really manipulative. You're not my soulmate. You're not my twin flame. This person is. I can't stop thinking about that person, and you're manipulative. And it's making the karmic more nuttier and more nuttier and more nuttier, which is why your person hasn't come to you yet. At first, was it pride that they didn't apologize? Absolutely. But is it now? No. But now they wasted so much time. I feel like they're getting really impatient because they're starting to get jealous. I feel like you're going to meet somebody. You're going to meet somebody and I'm stuck here. When meanwhile, the karmic is jealous and the karmic is getting really impatient with your person, not like becoming subservient like they normally would. Karmic's like, I win, I always win. Where they're seeing that they're not going to win this time and it's making them crazy. Where the karmic says, well, the only thing that I can really do is keep roadblocks, prevent, them from moving towards you, where you'll think that your person's betraying you. That's what they're hoping, but it's not going to work because there's a soul connection. There's a soulmate connection. So even if it took another year, which it's not going to take that, because again, things are boiling up. You can feel it, that, that this energy transcends time and space. This is a past life connection. You're going to hold it up for a week, a month, 2 months. It doesn't matter. That love, it won't die. Will you get mad? Absolutely, you'll be mad because you'll be like, well, why weren't you strong? How come you didn't think about me? When really it's like this person's not even thinking about themselves. It's the karmic's weapon. I'm going to scare you. I'm going to manipulate you. I'm going to gaslight you. You're not going to know whether or not I'm going to do something that will ruin you. So again, that's still not going to work. Narcissist is really not your person, though I feel as if there was a sense that you felt like this person was. No, the covert narcissist is the karmic, because again, it's all happening behind the scenes. Your person is just really insecure. They just, I feel like, depended too much on that karmic because it's the way that that relationship started. When they got out of their previous relationship, the karmic was right there, and they nurtured the connection, and they gained their spot. But it wasn't that your person gave to the karmic, it was the karmic that gave to them. So there was never a really strong emotional bond. So the karmic really can feel that just the same way that you can feel when a person really likes you and when they don't really like you. So they weaved themselves completely in to your person's life, where they gave themselves a spot and then convinced your person, I feel like for some of you, even to marry them. So it became an open marriage, which was fine as long as it looked okay from the outside. Because the karmic realized that they were settling and settling and settling. So they actually have a lot of pent up anger because they're like, I settled with all this bullshit with you running around, even when we got married. And, now you're going to want to leave me. Now you want to leave me after I did this for you and that for you and this for you, which your person never told them to do all that. Did they accept it? Yes, they accepted it. They let that karmic do it all, which is why they feel guilty because they're like they did do that. But they're seeing that the karmic's manipulative, and now they're saying, well, wait a minute, but like that's not really the way that it went. How it went was, yes, we were hanging out when my previous relationship was coming to an end, and that previous relationship didn't end well. So you were there for me, but I didn't tell you to do all that. You saw it as an opportunity. You came running in and then you got yourself pregnant, which, for some, and for others, it's like you just came running there and then you became friends with my family. You became like a fixture in my life, whether I wanted to or not. But when we got together, I wasn't balanced. I didn't really know what I wanted. So it's brought your person back where the karmic had convinced them that no, no, you love me, I'm your soulmate. And they're like, no, I'm not. I need you to trust me and believe I am working towards union with you. It's just like they're like, I just have to deal with this. And I don't really know how to deal with it. It's like I don't even know how I'm going to deal with you, but I'm more like concerned about this person because this person's really unstable. It's just I don't want to say anything to you. I didn't want to say anything to you because I know that I should have control over my life. I see that you have control over your life. I see that most people don't have this problem. Only I get this type of problem, but they realize that they're the main equation in their situation, and it's because they don't start things properly and they don't end things properly. When you end it, you have to communicate whether the person likes it or not, and then set a firm boundary where your person never does. They feel bad. They get easily manipulated. Because of you, I'm starting to see what's really important in my life. And it's because it's like they're like, I don't want to be in a loveless connection. I don't want to be separate from people. I look at you from afar and you're having fun. You're connected to people. You live a normal life. You have your own life. You're in control of your own life. I'm not in control of my own life. I'm not happy. It's like, so yeah, you are. And that's again, because the connection is all about healing. That's what we see here. That the divine, the universe brings people together for healing. That's the most important thing. Whether you're together with them or not is irrelevant to the universe. The universe, like, I don't care. What I care about is, did you awaken wounds for this person to learn, to take action, to heal, to change, and vice versa? That's what I care about, whether you're going to be with them or not. The spirit says, I give you free will, but there's a reason why I brought you to this person. Not just for them to heal, but also for your healing. We're going to look at that, but we're going to see what this person's going to do. Because what we see right now is that there's all this enlightenment where they're like, wait a minute, I'm really living fucked up. I have this woman or man controlling my life. Take it as it resonates. Um, I don't have control over my life. I don't want this. I don't really love you. I confused our relationship. For so long, you've been telling me that I'm your soulmate and vice versa, but I never experienced anything like what I have with you, with the other person, like that this is what they're saying in their head. They're like, I've never had that. So being that I've never had it, it's awakened me to actually go and search where I'm, asking my sister, asking my cousin, asking whoever, asking a close friend, whoever it is that this person would never be in a relationship with, but they confide in. But it's again the opposite sex of them. So I kind of feel like it's a guy that's talking to like their sister or their stepsister or cousin. It could be again the other way around. But like I said, I just feel like they've never experienced it. So they had never had anything to compare to. So we see a lot of the spiritual energy, a lot of the awareness for their healing, because they have to take a good look at themselves and see, I didn't apologize. I manipulated by stonewalling, by not coming back and giving an apology because I didn't want to give you an option. Because if I gave you the option, you were going to say, fix that, and I'm gonna be over here dating, or I'm not gonna stick around for this because I would take my time. Your person's like, I know that why? Because I wouldn't move as fast as I should unless you did that. And I didn't know how to deal with it. This just kind of twisted over. Yeah, like they're going within. This is all about again this relationship again to for their inner child healing thing. Why the reflection of what they did to you and how they wound up with the karmic and what it's bringing them to is again that they have inner child healing, but they're alone. They're taking a lot of time right now to just be alone. So they're not running around with anybody. They're actually really doing their healing right now. They're actually trying to contemplate and really like consider their health because I feel like being connected to this karmic is not just spiritually creating problems and emotionally, but they're actually starting to get physically sick. Yeah, like it's like, and the more that they think about it, the more that they're like, no, you're the whole package. See, it's not that they really have sat there and said, well, the karmic has this good aspect, this good aspect, this good aspect, this I don't like, this I don't like, this I don't like, this I don't like. And with you, they're like, you're the mother load. If I'm with you, I feel like it's like good fortune. I feel like because you're not codependent. You're not up their ass. You're not telling them what to do. You actually walked away from this person and they know damn well why, because they didn't give you anything. So it's again, you didn't manipulate. What they're seeing is that the karmic manipulates. So that's the number one. Number two, you have your own life where I feel like you're pretty successful within your job, where you at least have a job, where you make money, where they're connected to someone that relies on them for everything. See, that's the kicker. It's the covert narcissist acts like your person needs them, where really it's the other way around. That's why they're creating a lot of thing. It's like you're the advantage. You're the advantage is what it says here. It's like so they really have thought about it. They've contemplated. They went within to say, what is it? Like, what do I want? And like, what are the differences between this? This person again is going to come to you soon. I feel like, it's been going on for a long time. I feel like since maybe like last fall or two falls ago, like this person has held back, but they really didn't. They held back in the very beginning, but then it was all about the karmic playing games. So I feel like around autumn, around winter, the cooler months, right? Because we're in autumn now, October. So you should be hearing this person from this person very soon. Okay. I feel like right before Christmas starts. So at the end of November. Yeah, it's like because what they're realizing is that they're becoming very hyper focused on the fact that they were in a victim state but not because of them, and that they were acting oblivious and in denial. But now they're concentrating and they're hyper focused on what they need to do to get out of their situation. So they went from one extreme to another, and that's because they're so uncomfortable. So this person is coming towards you. It's again, they know that what it is that they need to like surrender their ego. Okay. They're gonna leaving the karmic, they're gonna sacrifice a lot. They're gonna walk away from a lot, which was another reason why. But they're doing it for their greater good. It's actually almost like a heroic effort, okay, to get out of this martyrhood. And that's really, it's again, they feel like you're part of their purpose. You're like you're the entire package, whereas this karmic is not the entire package. Do they have history? Yes. Is there love? I don't want to say that there's complete hate either. I want to say that it's just sadness, sorrow. It's like I don't love you. I wish I did. It would be easier, but I don't love you. I fell in love with somebody else, and I'm sad about it because you're sad. That's why I wanted you to break up with me. But again, what they're seeing is I need to stop being a martyr for somebody else, and I'm going to sacrifice a lot because I'm going to walk away from things that I need, but it's part of my purpose. It's part of my destiny. You're part of my destiny. This is what they think. Now, whether that's true or not, it's again, who knows? But they can feel the soulmate twin flame connection. And we know that twin flame connection, there's a bigger purpose to these relationships. And one that's not just about the relationship, but it's about transmuting that negative energy by creating something. And what we see here is a lot of fear. We see your person has a ton of fear towards, breaking away, being their own person. Listen, they got into that situation because they're in balance, but the universe has brought them you because they actually have done the healing. They just didn't do the healing where they sat down and did shadow work. I feel like this person became themselves. They became successful in business, which is why the karmic doesn't really want to let them go. Because again, the karmic is the covert narcissist that really needs your person, not the other way around. Your person was just kind of sacrificing themselves, being a martyr, but then like cheating on the side, doing it on the down low, to get their needs met. I don't think that they ever planned to fall in love or have a connection like this before, which is why they had to go and ask somebody. So the universe, right? Yeah, within a few weeks, it's going to happen. And that's what it said anyway. It said by the end of fall. And we are end of fall, the end of autumn, like 6 weeks after. So within a few weeks. So you can expect to hear from this person within 6 to 8 weeks, I'm feeling. Okay. So let's see why you attracted this person into your life. Okay. Because you're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. And so we always look at the inner child parts because it's like, well, why would I meet a person that had this type of issue? Like, right? Like, why? What would be the reasoning? What would be the reasoning? We always want to know what the reasoning would be. Ooh, too many came out. So I'm just going to pull the top one. Number one, abuse. Number two, joy. Well, that's a contradiction. Number three, play. Number four, misunderstood. Unworthy. And one more from the inner child cards. Sing. Sing. Okay. So let's see. Why did you attract this person? Well, obviously abused, where you were made to feel unworthy. So no emotional support. Where it made you feel like there was something wrong with you, like you again weren't part of this world, kind of like the same as what your person felt, right? Where that misunderstood, like no one gets me. And so because you viewed yourself from that level of consciousness, the same consciousness that you were brought up in, where again you abused, emotionally abused, to be made feel unworthy, it meant that you needed to find your own joy and not have this person be your joy, because there was no joy. Because when you don't get emotional fulfillment, there isn't joy. Joy comes from the deep connection that we have with people, the connection that comes from creating yourself, where I believe that you were neglected, you were abused in a way where your parents might have had their own issues. So whatever things that you needed or wanted to join, you weren't able to because there would be no support. No one would pick you up. No one would drop you off. Again, you were made to feel unworthy, which meant that your family put very little time into nurturing you, into helping you become like a strong person within yourself. You were taught to be codependent, actually. You were taught to be that because when we are born into a family that makes us feel unworthy, well, then there's a fear of never being loved. So then we tend to overgive, sacrifice ourselves in a way in hopes to get that. And I believe that's the old you. That's actually who the karmic is. That's not who you are now. And it's actually not who your person is now. Because your person, like I said, they did their healing by creating themselves. They became a business person where you actually became yourself by playing, right? Again, when we're like childlike, that means that we're just putting our time and our energy and our focus and our money towards creating, towards things that fill our soul up, things that we're interested in, things that we want to learn, things that are going to, again, feed our soul. And in that, it helps us to connect to people. Why? Because when you're, again, investing your time in a hobby, you're, again, connecting to people. When you are pouring the energy into yourself, it means that you're interactive in your life and you're meeting people, and emotionally you're getting fed from those people. So, which is what spirit wanted you to do. They wanted you to get your joy not from one person, because that would be make you very codependent. So you actually wound up becoming yourself while you were in separation from this person. So which makes sense. If it's a twin flame connection, it would mean that both of you have to be on a high enough vibration where this person is actually doing the healing. They just need to get out of their situation. You needed to create yourself more, to gain more financial stability, or to have more emotional stability in your life, and not have expect this person to be that, because we already know that they're not gonna 100% be that person. Remember, when the soulmate twin flame connection comes together, it doesn't mean that you have two healed people all of a sudden. It means that you're both on a high enough vibration where you healed certain things within yourself, but there would need to be things that you need to heal that you wouldn't be able to heal by yourself. That's why it's a twin flame soulmate connection. It means that you would learn that through creating something together. So you learn compassion, you learn how to work together, you learn forgiveness. Why? Because if you both were brought up in an environment where there was abuse, emotional abuse, it meant that the parents were so consumed with their own relationships and their own problems that they couldn't give to you or your person, which is why your person was insecure, which is why you, again, had financial issues and didn't really maybe know what you were going to do with the rest of your life to be able to support yourself. So you thought you were broken, where this person thought that they were broken. There's no such thing. Shadows, blocks. So the twin flame soul mate connection again comes together. They create something, but while they're creating, they're transmuting those tough blocks, where again, they can only do that through embodying the new consciousness, and that's through creating something. This is why it's such a powerful connection, and why that karmic is going crazy, because they like manipulated this person for so long and everything worked. And now all of a sudden, they pushed it to the extreme where your person is actually waking up and being like, wait a minute, who are you? Like, this is not the type of connection that I want. And you are like terrifying, and that karmic is going apeshit mad. So this is why you again attracted this person. So you're in separation for a purpose, for a reason. The divine says everything's in divine order. Everything's in my order. You may not like it. Your person doesn't like it. They're getting impatient. Again, they're sad, they're sorry, but they have to be in order to take responsibility for how they treated you. They needed to say something to you, but because they were too much of a coward, they didn't. So really, Spirit's saying that, and it's about finding your voice, which is exactly what you did. And why I say that is when you were brought up in an environment where you didn't get the emotional support, well, then we don't exactly feel comfortable to be able to speak our mind or ask for what we need, because again, parents are dealing with their own trauma, and we're not going to be received very well. We're going to be seen as a burden, again, which is what you were made to feel like. You were made to feel unworthy. So that's why you attracted this person again into your life, because they really are your other half. I feel like, again, they've already created themselves in business. I feel like you needed to create yourself to even just know what the hell you were going to do with the rest of your life, to find what you were good at. The trauma that you were made to feel, you didn't really go out and explore. You live safe. And when we live safe, it's again, we only know the situations that we lived. Where ships in the harbor are nice, but that's not what we're made for. We're made to go out they're made to go out into the world, to explore the world, to see what the world has to offer. That was denied because there was no support for you. You were made to feel unworthy. So you did that during this time. So we asked Spirit, because we know this person is coming back, and it's collective. So, some of you will and some of you won't be with this person. But I think if they were just a coward and they explain that to you, that you can forgive that, because we've all been a coward, right? We've all been afraid sometimes. Now, it doesn't mean that you like the fact that this person like chose someone over you, but they didn't choose that person. That karmic manipulated the situation. And this person feels like family. There's there's just a connection. Like again, which twin flame soulmate connection, there just would be, even regardless of what the person did. You'd be like, I can't help it. And again, like you'd be able to say, I can forgive coward. I can forgive somebody that deliberately tries to get over on me and cheats and runs around, but I can forgive someone that is living with somebody that they don't want to live with. So they're not sleeping with that person. They're not with that person. They're living two totally different lives. They're being held prisoner because, again, not really held prisoner, but the karmic is like bipolar. They're all over the place. They might kill themselves. They might do something. I don't really know how to handle this situation. They were embarrassed to tell you because they're like, why should, like, no one gets into these situations. You're not going to want to deal with this. I don't even want to deal with it. So they actually made the decision for you, which I could see why you wouldn't like that. But this person was embarrassed. But again, collective reading, so you'll take it as it resonates. And we ask Spirit to end off with one last message about this connection or about life for you. Creation, I have the power to direct my life with a constructive attitude. I create what is best for my soul. I firmly believe I can transform and improve my inner and outer worlds by turning every thought into affirmation and action. I act in the image of God and bring light into my life and live. That's what the twin flame connection's about. Exactly this card, okay? It's about creation. It's about integrating the spiritual blocks so that you're in alignment with God when God is just the energy of unconditional love. It's the energy of the universe. And that when we're in our perfect state, that's the energy that we are. We're the energy of unconditional love, which is God. So Spirit says, by doing what you love and becoming what you love, and by doing it with someone that you love unconditionally, because there's unconditional love here, regardless of the fact of what this person did, well, then Spirit says it's all about what you're going to create and bring forth to help humanity. What are you creating? And Spirit says that's why. It's again, and that it's going to happen in divine time. It's because Spirit says, because I know where you are and I know where this person is. So you may not like what's going on in their life, and they may not like the way that you're handling it, that you should be catering to them. You should have let them run into your life, and and you should have sheltered them, but that didn't work for them. We see if that's what they did with the karmic. That's what they did in the previous relationship. No, they have to do it on their own. Spirit's saying, no, I'm going to keep you two in separation until you leave that karmic and you figure it out which is where they are now. So within a few weeks, they'll be out. And where you are, which is I'm creating myself, I'm playing, I'm finding myself, I'm growing in this area. And Spirit says, yes. And when the right time is when I'm going to bring you together so that you can again create together, because that's how you're going to transmute those really stubborn childhood wounds that you really think are a part of you, where you're like, no, I'm inadequate, I'm broken. It's always been like that. It just never works out. And that's how what this person thinks too. When you grow up in an environment that tells you you're unworthy, that you're not good enough, that you're defective, that you're not worthy of love. Well, we see that that's what this person manifested. And we also see why you're manifesting what you're manifesting. So on some level, you also had the same wounds, but they were not channeled out the same way. And the reason why is because of the twin flame connection, that person that you're connected to has a lot of masculine energy, whether they're a man or a woman. So they're very grounded. And with you, again, you were more up in your mind where you need to ground by creating yourself and finding yourself. So Spirit saying that's the twin flame connection. You both have gifts, and when you come together, you both help each other through those gifts, and through the act of unconditional love, you're able to look at those stubborn wounds. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be triggered, but the thing is, you love that person unconditionally. So in the end, that's what always wins. And that's what Spirit says, because you wouldn't stick around long enough to deal with these pains, these hurts. No one contributes to that. But the universe says, I must bring you what you both need to become the energy of unconditional love, to bring you back, to restore you into wholeness, which is love, unconditional. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.